This week, the world was stunned by the shocking sweetheart plea deal offered to Hunter Biden. It was, as many commentators, including myself, said, an appalling miscarriage of justice, a sort of unholy downmarket baptism designed to wash away Hunter's sins at a minimal price. And a further piece of proof that America now has, yes, a two-tiered justice system where law enforcement protects the corrupt party in power while trying to jail members of the opposition. And guess what, folks? You ain't seen the half of it. I have a new piece of evidence that goes to the absolute heart of whether or not Hunter Biden was in fact shaking down foreign hostile governments to sell access to his dad, while enriching the entire Biden family in the process. Now, stick with me here because there's a few pieces to this puzzle, and the first is a WhatsApp message that was revealed by Republican lawmakers Thursday. In the message, believed to have come from the Hunter Biden laptop, which, for the record, everyone now admits is real, despite an attempt by the Biden campaign in 2020 to use the CIA and intelligence agents to spearhead his Russian disinformation. In the message, Hunter is seen trying to heavy a Chinese businessman and Communist Party member who was also a quote-unquote investor. Yes, an investor in Hunter's quote-unquote business. Now, the message went like this. And imagine this Hunter doing the whole Don Corleone routine. I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Ooh. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. Oh. And now means tonight. And Zed, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. Geez. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Ooh, gosh. Look who's coming across all Senator Pat Geary. But anyway, the message was sent on July 30, 2017. And it turns out, just the next 10 days later, the Chinese company CEFC Infrastructure Investment wired, guess what? $5.1 million to one of Hunter's companies. Now, Biden apologists, faced with the ever-growing evidence of corruption, have claimed that this still doesn't prove anything. But I can also reveal more evidence that ties Joe Biden to that message. Investigations have revealed that Hunter was at the Biden family property in Wilmington on that very day when the message was sent, and even posed for pictures in his dad's beloved Corvette. You know, the same one that he keeps in that locked garage with all the old classified documents and stuff. Now, the pictures further tie the president to the message in what can only be seen as a clear attempt to extort money for access and favors. Amazingly, a reporter managed to get a question up on this in a White House briefing with spokesman John Kirby, who took it, very well and walked out.
So just a couple of questions about this. First, does this not undermine the president's claim during the 2020 campaign and the reaffirmations of that claim by his two press secretaries since then, that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with him?
No, and I'm not going to comment further on this.
We're good.
James, let me save you some. Let me save you some breath. If you're going to ask about this, I am not addressing. I know you do more than I'd like you to have. I am not going to address this issue from this podium. I'm just not going to do it.
All right.
I'm not going to do it.
Where was the president on the day?
Thank you.
Karine Jean-Pierre also got very annoyed indeed with the White House press corps, which seems to have rediscovered its backbone.
Yes or no, was the president involved in the shakedown attempt?
Stephen,
Yes or no?
Stephen, I just answered the question. It's not up to you how I answer the question. I just answered the question by telling you my colleagues at the White House Counsel has dealt with this, and I would refer you to them. Go ahead.
Karine, can you just remind us what your colleague said from the White House counsel, so we have it.
I would refer you to them, and they will share their statement with all of you.
My question is about your statements from that podium. You've stated that the president stands by his comment from the 2020 campaign that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with his son. And you stood at that podium and you reaffirmed that. Do you stand by your reaffirmation?
What I will say is nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And I will leave it there. Anything else, I will refer you to the White House counsel.
This is not a change?
I just answered the question. You just asked me, does my statement change? I just told you nothing has changed. That's answering the question.
Now, all of this comes amidst further reports from whistleblowers that the Justice Department impeded an IRS investigation of the president's son, Hunter. Further evidence of that two-tiered justice system I mentioned before. In the meantime, Democrats are trying every distraction in the book to divert attention from the story, or at least keep their base happy. Here's Nancy Pelosi speaking at a Biden event Friday.
I have to leave as soon as the president finishes because I'm getting on the plane going to San Francisco. And when I land, it'll be just dark enough for me to flip the switch. Thank you. Just dark enough for me to flip the switch to have the Bay Bridge lit up in gay pride colors. It has to be dark enough.
Well, just dark enough indeed.